Hello, dear students. I'm glad to meet you at our course. Today we are going to continue to talk about outstanding Russian engineer Vladimir Grigorьevich Shukhov. Let's start. Petrovsky Passage is an elite department store opened on Petrovka Street in downtown Moscow in 1906. Shukhov designed a covered arcade with two wide three-story galleries covered with high-pitched semi-cylindrical glass vaulting. The second stories of opposite galleries are connected by exquisitely designed ferroconcrete catwalks. Lattice masts or cage masts are a type of observation mast common on United States Navy major warships in the early 20th century. They are a type of hyperboloid structure to weight saving. They were used most prominently on American dreadnought battleships and armored cruisers of the World War I era. Kievsky Railway Terminal, also known as Moscow-Kievskaya Railway Station, is one of the 9 railway terminals of Moscow, Russia. The station was built between 1914 and 1918 in the Byzantine Revival style. Originally named the Bryansk Station, it was designed by Ivan Verberg and Vladimir Shukhov and is considered an important landmark of architecture and engineering of the time. The station building is flanked by a gigantic landing platform which is distinguished by its simplicity and constructive boldness. The platforms are covered by massive glassed arch structures in the form of a parabola. Open-work steel trusses are clearly visible, and they demonstrate the elegance of the grandiose building. Shukhov is also reputed for his original designs of around 500 bridges across the Oka, the Volga, the Yenisei, and others. Few people know that he designed the rotating stage in Moscow Academic Drama Theatre. He took part in saving and stabilization of an architectural memorial of the 15th century minaret of the Madrasa Ulugh-Bek in Samarkand. The tower was severely rolled after the earthquake, and there was a threat of falling down. In 1932, a design contest was announced with an appeal to save the tower. Shukhov presented an original design and became not only the award winner, but the head of all works aimed at saving the minaret. However, let us come back to the 19th century. During 15 years of work in the drafting office, Shukhov received 9 privileges patents, still having significance nowadays: horizontal and vertical steam boilers, oil loading barge, steel cylinder tank, hanging overhead grid shells for buildings, arch overhead covering, oil pipeline, industrial racking unit, hyperboloid steel grid shell tower, which found a great response throughout the world after All-Russian exhibition in Nizhny Novgorod in 1896. This exhibition became a major event in cultural, industrial, and technical life in Russia and the real triumph of Shukhov's engineering thought. The area, over 4 hectares, with buildings and exhibition halls, was covered and built on the basis of his design, making each of them a new achievement of Russian science and technology. The total number of exhibition halls designed by Shukhov was 8, covering the area of 27,000 square meters. 4 exhibition halls were covered with tensile structures, the same number with grid shells with 32 span. Shukhov's structures were at least 50 years ahead of their contemporaries. Suspension roof of grain elevator in Albany, USA, appeared only in 1932, and roof covering shaped as overturned truncated cone, like exhibition pavilions in France and Zagreb, Yugoslavia, appeared in 1937. The main attraction of the exhibition in Nizhny Novgorod was Shukhov's water tower, 32 meters high. For the period of 15 years, Shukhov's towers appeared in more than 30 Russian cities, and during the first Soviet five-year economic periods, about 40 of them were built in Russia, Transcaucasia, and Central Asia. Shukhov's towers, reliable and functional, were also extremely attractive in appearance. According to Shukhov himself, a thing that looks beautiful is strong. The human vision is used to natural proportions, and that anything able to survive in nature is always strong and useful. Shukhov, who first in the world calculated and designed tensile steel grid shells, initiated a new trend in construction art. Landing stages in Kiev, Bryansk, and Kazan railway stations in Moscow, translucent structures in the State Central Shopping Mall, GUM Upper Trading Rows, Fine Arts Museum, Petrovsky Passage, Central Post Office, Glass Dome of Metropole Hotel, all these and many other structures in Moscow, no huge construction site worked without Shukhov's participation, today also arise, astonish people by their beauty, elegance, and still remaining up to date as newly built. And some of them are over 100 years old. According to his projects, more than 200 structures were built, including power lines, lighthouses, and other similar structures. But perhaps his most famous work in Uzbekistan is this tower, which served for a long time as the water supply of Bukhara, until a fire broke out in 1975, as a result of which the wooden cladding of the tower burned down. The construction of the structure is interesting. Strips of metal without any support descend to the ground from the support ring of the foundation, and the tower itself resembles a network of separate blocks attached to each other. The stability and lightness of the structure make it possible to resist the wind. Today the tower has been restored and serves as a tourist attraction. On the first and second floors there are cafes and a restaurant, and from the third floor there is a breathtaking vision of the historical center of the city. The more you learn about Shukhov's work, the more you admire the genius of this prominent Russian engineer and scientist. It seems that we have listed all his numerous and unique inventions and projects, but this vast list is to be continued. We did not mention dry dock floating gateway, platform for heavy artillery pieces, tram depot. However, even if the author did his utmost to make the list complete, it would not be able to embrace everything. Even if many of Shukhov's developments were the only design he made in his life, anyway his name would be forever commemorated in the history of science and engineering art. Thank you for your attention, dear students. Next time we are going to talk about the most popular house styles. See you next time. Goodbye.